Good morning. Thank you for joining us this week for our weekly devotional. We wanted to let you know that today we're going to be talking about 1 Samuel 25. And 1 Samuel 25 deals with one guy named Nabal and his wife Abigail, and then the character David. And so really what we've been doing in the past is looking at how these particular stories deal with the character of David. And that's what we're going to continue to do this week. We're going to do that by looking at the way that this person, Abigail, intercedes on behalf of her husband and her family, and how that wins her favor with David and how David treats her. And so that's really where we're going to see some of the most important meaning this week, and then see some character traits of David that we can do well to follow here in our own daily lives. So let's go ahead and look at 1 Samuel chapter 25. And we're going to start at verse 23, but I'm actually going to summarize what's happened before that. And so David, he has been out on the fight, fighting different bands of raiders lately, and he's going to go to this city where a man named Nabal lives. Nabal is someone who he's got a prior relationship with. This guy's servants are out working the fields, they're working, drawing water, doing all these things. And so David has come into contact with these people, and they've dealt well with Nabal's servants. Nabal's a man of means. He has plenty of servants and maidservants and land and these kinds of things. And yet, the Bible clues us in with the name Nabal, that he is foolish. And that's actually how he it plays out for him in the story. He acts the part of a fool. When David's messengers come and they present to him that they want to come and spend some time there and need some supplies and things, basically Nabal says, "Who is this guy? We don't know him. He's just trying to, freeload off of me." And he's like, "Get out of here. I don't want to hear any more about this." And so he sends the people away empty-handed, making a mockery out of them, which, as you would imagine, angers David. So David responds in anger, is going to gather 400 of his own men. He gets his own sword on, says, "Let's go get him. We're going to go destroy these people." And so he sets off to go and deal with Nabal as a warrior and kill and defeat and all of those things. And so he's on his way with 400 warriors, and Abigail, Nabal's wife, actually picks up on this from what some of the servants have told her. "Hey, we like David's men. They've treated us well. And Nabal, your husband, is being ridiculous. He's being foolish. Nobody can reason with him. He has angered David, and we're afraid for our lives." And so Abigail prepares a sizable gift for David and his men. She sends it on before her, and then she goes out to meet them. And so this is where we jump into the story in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. It says this. It says, "When Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed low before him. She fell at his feet and said, 'I accept all blame in this matter, my lord. Please listen to what I have to say. I know Nabal is wicked and an ill-tempered man. Please don't pay attention to him. He is a fool, just as his name suggests. But I never even saw the young men you sent. Now, my lord, as surely as the Lord lives and you yourself live, since the Lord has kept you from murdering and taking vengeance into your own hands, let all your enemies and those who try to harm you be as cursed as Nabal is. And here's a present that I, your servant, have brought to you and your men and your young men. Please forgive me if I have offended you in any way. The Lord will surely reward you. The Lord will surely reward you with a long dynasty, for you are fighting the Lord's battles, and you have not done wrong throughout your entire life. Even when you are chased by those who seek to kill you, your life is safe in the care of the Lord your God, secure in his treasure pouch. But the lives of your enemies will disappear like stones shot from a sling. When the Lord has done all he promised and has made you leader of Israel, don't let this be a blemish on your record, Then your conscience won't have to bear the staggering burden of needless bloodshed and vengeance. And when the Lord has done these great things for you, please remember me, your servant." So we kind of see from Abigail that Nabal is just being crazy earlier. He should have heard about David. He should know these things. Abigail knew that David would be the future king of Israel. She knew that he had fought valiantly and defeated his enemies. She knew about this promise that had been made for his dynasty to rule forever. And yet Nabal has missed out on it. Either that or he's willfully mocking David and his people and tempting his own fate. And so Abigail intercedes, and she plays the part of the wise woman here who goes and takes a gift to quench the anger of this person who's coming after her family, her husband. And so then we pick up again in verse 32. David replied to Abigail, "Praise the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you to meet me today. Thank God for your good sense. Bless you for keeping me from murder and from carrying out vengeance with my own hands. For I swear by the Lord, the God of Israel, who has kept me from hurting you, that if you'd not hurried out to meet me, not one of Nabal's men would still be alive tomorrow morning." Then David accepted her present and told her, "Return home in peace. I have heard what you said. We will not kill your husband." And when Abigail arrived home, she found that Nabal was throwing a party, was celebrating like a king. He was very drunk, so she didn't tell him anything about her meeting with David until dawn the next day. And in the morning, when Nabal was sober, his wife told him what happened. As a result, he had a stroke, and he lay paralyzed on his bed like a stone. About 10 days later, the Lord struck him, and he died. So Nabal got what was coming to him. The Lord fought David's battle here for him. Abigail kept David from murder. He kept him from taking vengeance in his own hands. And so Abigail played this interesting part here where she actually was a benefactor to David. She kept him in right relationship with the Lord. And so, as you would imagine, David has seen that as something special and recognizes this. And so now that her husband is dead, we see the following results happen with David. Verse 39 here of chapter 15. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Praise the Lord, who has avenged the insult I received from Nabal and has kept me from doing it myself." Nabal received his punishment for his sin. Then David sent messengers to Abigail to ask her to become his wife. And so David has recognized the unique giftedness of Abigail and her wisdom, and has chosen to make her his wife. And so by doing that, we see something about the character of David here. David is willing, first of all, when he meets Abigail on the road, he's willing to listen to counsel. He's teachable. We talked about how we want to see some characteristics in the life of David that you and I can follow as an example in our own life. Well, we need to be teachable. Sometimes I, for sure, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get something set in my mind that I'm going to do it, and I'm, even if it goes bad, I'm going to get this done and I'm going to make this happen. Well, David seemed like he was going that direction, but when confronted with someone who offered wise counsel to him, he listened. And so you and I would do well to be teachable, even when we're, we got that crazy look in our eye, to avoid that sort of situation, but to be willing to listen to other viewpoints on something. So if we feel like, we need to make a decisive action about dealing with someone's conduct, maybe before we actually carry it out, we ask 2 or 3 other believers what their advice is on this, so that we can get counsel and be teachable in that moment before we act on something. Now, I understand that's not always an option, but when it is, we should definitely be teachable in those areas. Or when making a large decision, maybe it's a career choice or a marriage choice or something like that, we need to take other believing people's opinions, really not opinion, but judgment and scriptural insight into account when we're making those decisions. And in that way, we can be like David and we can be teachable. And then the other thing is that David recognized the value of a person's character in Abigail. And so we're told that because of the actions that she takes, he has recognized that he wants her to become his wife. And it's because of the wisdom that he's seen in her. And so you and I would do well, first of all, if you're unmarried, to pick a wise wife or to pick a wise husband. That would be good for you. And then if you've already done that, the good thing would be to choose friends that are wise people. Don't run around in the company of fools, as Proverbs tells us, but instead be like David and choose your friends, choose those voices that you listen to, choose wise people to fill those roles in your life. And so if we do those two things this week, we can follow some of the example in the character of David, and we can be more like the character of God by being like David. So we can, number one, remember to be teachable in whatever circumstances we find ourselves in, whether that's reacting to some sort of wrong, or maybe that's being proactive in the way that we make a decision. We need to be teachable in those moments. And then the second thing would be to find a wise mate. And if you've already done that, then to surround yourself with wise counsel in other areas of your life as well. And so I hope that you'll do that, and I hope that this has been helpful. Let us know if it is in the comment section below, and also share this on social media. We would love to connect with you on a Wednesday in a group Bible study. We have adult Bible studies at 6:30. We even have a women's Bible study that takes place via Zoom at 6:30 on Wednesdays. And so if you would like more information about group Bible studies at Greenwood, just send me an email, justin@greenwood.church, or send me a direct message on social media. That'd be fine too. Y'all have a wonderful week.